Xenoblade X Definitive Edition is finally out, and I'm addicted. No, I don't need to study for finals, I need to see if I can kill this guy.
I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see.
The remastered version of the game added more than I could have ever asked for, and although I haven't even gotten to the new story content, all the other changes and additions have genuinely made this game feel brand new. There's new characters, side quests, graphics, outfits, and of course quality of life stuff. But what I want to talk about today actually has nothing to do with any of that. And yet I feel like it's still the change that I've noticed and used the most during my playthrough. I feel so strongly about this new mechanic that I needed to stop playing and make a little video just to talk about it, and hopefully spread some of the appreciation. I love the new ability, Quick Cooldown. It is such a game changer and such a needed step in the right direction for Xenoblade's combat as a whole. In case you don't know, Quick Cooldown lets you instantly recharge an art when it's depleted in exchange for a new meter. The meter refills after every battle and can be upgraded by exploring the world. To some, it may seem like a small change, but I promise it's actually a pretty substantial addition to combat that I think fixes some of the problems that the original had. Or at least it definitely helps. Because arts recharge based on a timer in Xenoblade X, there is always so much time spent in combat simply standing there waiting for your arts to recharge. This obviously slows the game down, but it can also make it feel like the player doesn't have a lot of options for the majority of a battle. Pretty much everything you can do is tied to those arts after all. This can often lead to situations where the outcome of a fight feels completely out of your control, and when you lose, you don't really know what else you could have done to win, which is frustrating. Now, this definitely gets better the more you play and understand the game, but it is pretty noticeable early on and for newer players, which can lead to a slow experience. Or maybe I just have TikTok brain, I don't know. Either way, having too much downtime during gameplay can be pretty detrimental to how fun a game is. And honestly, don't kill me for saying this, the other games in the series can kind of suffer from this as well. As a matter of fact, I actually think X has one of the more engaging combat systems in the series, thanks to mechanics like TP, secondary cooldowns, and now Quick Cooldown. At some point, I really want to make a more in-depth critique of Xenoblade's combat as a whole, where I can hopefully explain what I mean a bit better. The combat systems are great and have an extremely unique identity, but there's definitely room for improvement. For now though, my main point is that there can be a lot of downtime and not a lot of important decision making for the player. Hopefully what I'm saying is making some kind of sense and is resonating with you at least a little bit. But anyways, Quick Cooldown provides a pretty smart solution to this. If you find yourself in a position where none of your arts are available, you can use your meter to bring them back instantly, allowing you to do more damage, or gain TP, or use an art's secondary cooldown effect, or whatever you need when you otherwise wouldn't be able to. This obviously speeds the gameplay up, but because the resource is limited within one battle, it also adds a bit more strategy to combat. Like, do you spend all your meter right away and try to kill the enemy as fast as possible, or do you play it safe in case it's a long fight and you need to activate a soul voice or buff later on? That's just an example, but I think giving the player a strong and limited resource like this opens up the door to a really interesting combat system, one where the player feels like they have more control on the outcome of a battle. In my experience, Quick Cooldown has done just that. The less intense fights simply go a lot faster, and the more intense fights are super fun and captivating. When I die, I immediately think about how I could have managed my resources better, as opposed to just thinking I got unlucky or I'm just underleveled. I think it's a great way to keep the player focused on the game, whether that's just by making them press a button more frequently, or by making them strategize in the heat of a battle. It keeps my hands and my brain going during a battle, even when I am just standing there waiting for my arts to recharge. Now, I know what you may be thinking. This is all so true and correct, but isn't this new ability unbelievably broken? And to that I say, shut up. Seriously though, this is an extremely strong ability, which I recognize. I've been trying to stay off social media to avoid any spoilers, but I promise you someone has already found a way to abuse this and completely break the game even more than it's already been broken. But I can't imagine that it ruins the game or anything. It's definitely possible to give a player an ability that is so strong that it makes the game kind of mindless, but I assume for most people playing the game casually, Quick Cooldown will just speed up some of the slower fetch quests, while also adding more depth to the bigger, more important fights. And for the people who know the really good strategies and builds, then it's just another tool to do these things faster and more efficiently. Infinite Overdrive, for example, is a lot easier to pull off because of Quick Cooldown. It isn't perfect, but I think giving the player more tools for combat is, generally speaking, a huge net positive. And quick cooldown, in my opinion, makes the game a lot more engaging where it used to be a little slow. I haven't even gotten quick cooldown for the scales yet, and pretty much every complaint I mentioned earlier is doubled with the scales, so I'm sure it'll be great there too. And like I said at the start, I think it's a great step in the right direction for future games. It kind of gets me excited for the next combat system that Monolith Soft makes, whatever that might be. I could see them improving on it by maybe making you have to build up the meter at the start of a battle instead of just giving you the full meter right at the start. That might balance it a bit more, but I'm not sure. As long as it's fun to get the meter in combat, then I think it would be great. But for now, in X's case, I think it's a great addition. Like I mentioned, I've been off social media, so I have no clue what the general consensus is for any of the new stuff, including quick cooldown. So let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with what I've been saying. I read every comment and I'm very curious, but of course, please no story-related spoilers. I've been loving the new stuff, and we'll definitely be talking about it more once I beat the game and once I get out of exams. But I just wanted to make a quick video and get some of my initial thoughts out. So yeah, thanks so much for watching.